Here.
Jason Kyle.
Here.
Dennis Miller.
Here.
Angela Woodward.
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening and welcome everyone to the August 6th special meeting of the Ashland City Council. First item on the agenda this evening will be the approval of the minutes from our July 16th meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. The mayor has asked for an executive session, as well as our law director, for the purchase of real estate and to discuss imminent litigation. I'd like to take a few minutes and have a executive session prior to continuing with the agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. We will be back shortly, so please bear with us. We're back. We will need a motion to come back into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
All right. Back in regular session. Go right to the agenda with first item being an ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real property located in the city of Ashland and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Okay, this first item on the agenda concerns the property located at 118 West Main Street. This is the building that is commonly referred to as the Frontier Building, and that is because it's currently owned by Frontier, the telephone company. It is absolutely, of course it's absolutely. It is located right next to the Huntington Bank Building in downtown Ashland. Most folks who are from around this area know that that building has been vacant for years. In fact, I believe it might have been last utilized around 2003. So it's a little more than 2 decades, I believe it's been vacant. And of course, during that time, it has received very little maintenance and upkeep, both internally and externally. And over that period of time, a lot of different businesses and individuals have inquired about purchasing that from Frontier to repurpose the building. People have had good ideas of how to use it for everything from restaurants to retail to a car museum. And it's been very difficult and challenging for anyone to make headway or finally reach the right people and get a decision from those in the corporate structure at Frontier. Well, in recent years, I've heard more and more of those discussions of people not being able to move forward, but having good ideas on the project. And then more recently, if you've noticed, now the windows are cracked up front. And I finally was able to track down someone at the Frontier Company in Dallas, Texas, and basically laid it out that this is an eyesore for our downtown. We need to use that very valuable space for some other productive purpose. And someone needs to salvage the building before it becomes truly a public safety hazard and so on. Well, after saying all of that, she informed me that they would be willing to sell it to the city of Ashland if we closed by September 1st. They just want it off their books. Now, they would have to maintain an easement access to the property because on the lower floor of that building, what we would consider the basement, there is a hallway that houses a lot of their technology that supports their system here in Ashland. And we took a look at that, and it's minimal space. It's actually about a 15,000 square foot building. This is located in the basement, and it would not be a problem for anyone that might occupy that building to allow access.
So it's just an internal easement. not-
Exactly. But it would follow the property, and it would
Well,
transfer if eventually it's owned by another individual or entity. So with all that in mind, I am recommending tonight that the council move forward promptly with the purchase of 118 West Main Street. I want to make sure that it's very clear, we're not in the real estate business in the sense that we're trying to buy an old building and flip it for a profit. We are simply trying to get that building into local hands, the local decision makers' hands, so that we can move forward with some plan for that building. We would have the option, of course, to resell it in the name of economic development to whatever might be a good purpose for that building, or if we wanted to move forward and try to receive state grants to start cleaning it up and rehabbing it, we could do that again as well. But I think this time around, our primary purpose is to get it into our hands so we can get it into someone else's here locally that can hopefully turn it into a valuable asset for downtown. And I've shared with you in the executive session, there are definitely prospects that are very eager to see that building become something else and to invest significant money in that building. So with that in mind, I'm asking that you will approve the purchase.
And is it acceptable to disclose the price?
Yes, $25,000.
$25,000.
$25,000.
I think the public would be interested in knowing that.
Yes, so it's minimal.
Yeah.
15,000 square feet, and
Yes.
understand it needs a lot of work,
Yes.
but still.
And I really feel that that was almost a token figure, just to be able to get it into our hands and still
Yeah.
honor
Yeah,
the guidance of their corporate leaders.
right.
Sure. Any further discussion?
Make the bean counters happy.
I think that is what that was about.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. I will move to suspend the rules for three separate readings, three
Second.
separate days.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Ordinance 47-24.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing certain land belonging to the city of Ashland, Ohio to be sold through the Community Improvement Corporation and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
All right, this particular item on your agenda relates to land in our industrial park. And quite candidly, I'm very excited to bring this to you tonight. I know we've had the opportunity to discuss it in the past several months in executive session, but it is now time to request that you authorize the sale of 22.4 acres of land in the industrial park to Ambrose Services LLC. Now, Ambrose Services LLC is playing a role in the development process of this piece of land. That is not the final user and occupant of that land, if that makes sense. They work on behalf of their client, but their client is not willing to divulge their identity publicly at this point in the process. However, we've had extensive conversations with the group, and they are willing to purchase that 22.4 acres for a cost of $20,000 an acre, which is double what we've ever received for an acre of land out there. Normally, $10,000 is what people have paid. They are willing to give us $20,000 an acre for a total price tag of $448,000. And what I am able to share tonight is that it is a Fortune 500 company. It's an e-commerce facility that will deal in shipping, sorting, and staging packages for daily delivery. So listen carefully to what those terms are. A Fortune 500 company that's easily recognizable by most people. It's an e-commerce facility that will be utilized for shipping, sorting, and staging packages for daily delivery. They are not prepared to share publicly what their employment levels will be, but I think the council will agree from our discussions, we're very satisfied with the number of employees they hope to have in this facility. So my request is that you authorize us to move forward with the sale of this land. I will tell you that they are actually hoping to break ground in September
Oh, wow.
and be done in 2025.
Very good. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
I'll again move to suspend the rules for three separate readings, three separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
Move to approve.
Is there a
Second.
Thank you.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Ordinance 48-24.
Thank you.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Finance to make the following transfers within the 2024 appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Good evening.
Evening, Larry.
The ordinance before you, these are monies that you have originally appropriated within the 2024 appropriations, and we are just transferring because of their dollar amount. And within the funds, we're just transferring from one line to another within those lines as requested.
Any questions, discussion?
Larry, did we have a cost to the band shell? Did we have a repair or something for the band shell, or is it just to cover general cost?
I believe those are operating expenses
Okay.
for the band shell. It great program, but it costs to
Sure,
put those
absolutely.
on, so, yeah.
Just curious.
And by the way, we're mentioning the band shell. For what it's worth, the band shell has had the best attendance maybe ever so far this season. And if you had the opportunity to be there, I think on Sunday night, was it, or Thursday?
Yes.
I was not there, but it was reported back that it was a larger attendance than what we had for the Pops in the Park, which is usually our biggest event of the year. So Judy Webster is the one who the city employs to book all these acts, and she is doing a marvelous job of finding the best acts to feature at that band shell. And it truly is, she goes to an event, I believe it's a conference where they see what's available, the acts that are available and what you can afford. And she's picking winners.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yes.
We've been to several. They're all good.
That's,
Really
yep,
good quality programming.
it is
So, yeah.
outstanding.
All right.
Supported by donors and some of our park fees. Yep.
So if there's no further discussion for Mr. Paxton, I'll ask for a motion to approve on the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
I'll again move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Ordinance 49-24.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract for the purchase of equipment for the Division of Fire for the city of Ashland, Ohio, obviating formal advertising and bidding and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
In each of our medic units that are utilized by our fire and EMS, there are LifePak 35 monitor defibrillators. These defibrillators and monitors do just what you'd expect they do. They do everything from monitor the patient's blood pressure, vital signs, heart activity, and of course, the defibrillator portion could be used to shock someone's heart if they should find them in cardiac arrest. Well, our units are actually 11 years old. The average lifespan for these units is about 8 years. And the company that provides our units, Physio Control, is no longer going to service these units after this year. And we did just have I think twice a year, all of our units are serviced to make sure they're always in working order. But they have notified us that they are no longer going to be able to service them or provide parts for them. And so we need to get in line to purchase replacement units. And the replacement units, we don't have the exact price, but believe that they are going to be slightly under $245,000. The new units will be state-of-the-art, and unlike the ones that we use now, the hospital staff will actually be able to log in or tie into the system so that they will be able to see that data that's being generated by those monitors before the patient actually arrives in the emergency room or at the hospital. So that's a wonderful technology to be able to offer. Our 4 units that we have, as you might imagine, since they're no longer servicing or providing parts for them, they don't have a lot of trade-in value, but they are willing to give us $4,500 for each unit toward our new purchase. And of course, they will be using them most likely for parts for someone else's maybe that breaks between now and then until they're replaced. I think that's pretty much it. 4 medics, 4 units, and
How quickly can they get them?
they're hoping in the next couple of months.
Okay.
So,
All right. Any further discussion?
I would like to mention that these units are being purchased through Sourcewell. It's a recognized, federal and state recognized cooperative purchasing program, which the city has been authorized to become or be a member of. That's why, first of all, the state does not bid this type of equipment out under their state cooperative purchasing program. So in doing that, since we are a member of Sourcewell, and since it is recognized by the state of Ohio, we can buy this equipment through their program. So that needs to be documented as part of our record, please.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I know we were a part of two of those types of programs. Is this the one that this council, I believe, actually signed up to be a part of when we did the pickleball courts or the tennis courts? There was one of those.
Tennis courts.
It was one of
Tennis
those,
courts,
yes.
Yes,
So we have utilized it.
right. And we have been a member for, I think, 22
Oh,
or
wow.
maybe 21, something like that.
All right.
So,
Thank you, Larry. All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll ask for a motion to approve on the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
And it would be paid for out of the fire equipment.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I will add, before I make this next motion, that this is part of the reason for our meeting tonight, is this was a critical item that needed to be passed as soon as possible for the ordering process. And anyway, that's why we're here. So with that, I will move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. Motion to approve the ordinance?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Ordinance 50-24.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract for the purchase of a vehicle for the Ashland County Council of Alcohol and Drug Abuse and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Repeatedly at these city council meetings, we have discussed the fact that this city has signed up to be a part of the settlement with the various pharmaceutical companies as it relates to the opioid crisis. And I think that we have, I'm not sure when we last reported, but our finance director has periodically reported that we are receiving checks. They're not huge checks, but they do add up. Several thousand here, a couple thousand here, and so on. I think the most recent one, 7,800. And of course, that particular fund that we have to place that money in continues to grow. Well, it is very specific what we can use that funding for. And it has to be related to the opioid epidemic and those that are still struggling with opioid addiction or recovery. So with that in mind, we have made contact with ACADA, Alcohol and Drug Abuse Council here in Ashland, located on College Avenue. And they have expressed to Larry, or the finance director, and myself, that they are in need of a vehicle to transport some of the clients that they work with to various appointments related to their recovery. And as you might imagine, in many instances, those who are dealing with opioid addiction and so on no longer have a license or no longer have a support system to get them to appointments in different places that are involved with their treatment. So with that in mind, our finance director felt that this was a legitimate use for this money. And we both talked to Rich Ford today about it. And for that reason, we're asking that you consider utilizing some of the money for this purchase.
All right. Questions, discussion?
How much money has came into the account so far? How much money have we received so far in that account?
Currently, we have about $30,000. Last year, we were able to participate with the county prosecutor on a piece of equipment that
Yeah.
easily identifies the types of
Drugs.
drugs that they are dealing with. This vehicle here is valued at $29,000. As the mayor has mentioned, we did receive a check just yesterday, actually, for $78,800. Excuse me. This program will go for the next 20 years, or 18 years, excuse me,
Okay.
from about 7 or 8 different pharmaceutical companies that have reached settlement with the state. I believe the law director's office was instrumental in getting that started for the city. So we will continue to receive this money and try to
Yeah.
Yes, it is on the second
Second page.
page. Well, it's not in the ordinance. It's
Uh,
only on the writ,
At
this,
the bottom.
no, but this is just a letter. It's not part of the
And
ordinance.
is there a timeline that the money has to
Not
be
here.
used
Right.
annually or anything like that?
Stays in that fund
Okay.
until a legitimate expenditure is acquired.
Okay, great.
We're also talking to a individual who provides counseling services to some of the inmates in our county jail who
Okay.
find themselves in that situation as a result of their addiction. And he is going to put down a proposal for some assistance with his program as well.
Great.
And it does seem to be an effective program, at least it seems as though the judges agree that it is actually having an impact.
I think it's a good source to use
Yeah,
the money and the
absolutely.
funds for.
Sure.
And I agree with not letting it build up.
Yeah.
You know, when we
Oh, yeah.
accumulate so much and that there's a need,
Yeah.
let's get it out there.
Yep.
Do, Larry, are we just giving Akata a check, or are we purchasing the vehicle?
They will invoice us for
Okay.
the vehicle.
Okay.
The vehicle will be titled in their name,
Yeah.
not the city's.
Right, right, that's what my
Will
assumption was.
invoice us for that vehicle.
And just to be clear, they're not part of the city. It's,
That is
this is the mechanism we need to use to get the money out in the community to be used, so.
And that's a good point. I know Councilwoman Woodward actually mentioned that to me in a offline conversation. We want to make clear to everyone that the city does not normally give to a charitable organization, or I'm sorry, a nonprofit 501(c). Nowhere else do we do that currently, other than, I guess, if you'd consider economic development that, but I'm not sure it's considered a 501(c)(3). So this is an exception, and it is because that is what the particular specific use of this money permits.
Yeah.
It does no one any good sitting in an account
Yes.
somewhere. So,
And the rules are real clear, what the money can be used for. They're not,
Yeah.
Sure,
they're very stringent.
very good.
I guess I point that out because I don't want other agencies to think that they should come to us with their vehicle requests, because we don't
That's-
do that. This is because of this particular court
Yeah.
settlement.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
And it's nice the truck will have the name of
Yes,
Akata
yeah.
and the phone number, so it'll be a driving billboard.
Yeah.
All right, with that then, is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. I will again move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Ordinance 51-24.
Next, we have an ordinance to adopt the solid waste management plan for the Ashland County Solid Waste Management District.
Move for non-reading in full.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
I think most of you are probably aware of the fact that we have an Ashland County Solid Waste Management Committee. We've had it for years. The EPA requires that we have it, and its task is basically to come up with a plan every 5 years as to what our communities in Ashland County will do to reduce the amount of waste that ends up in our landfills. The city has a seat on that committee. Jason Counts, as our Director of Sanitation, who is our official voter on the committee, and I serve as kind of an ex officio, so I attend some of the meetings. But they have now updated their 5-year plan, and this is the year that we have to decide whether or not we are willing to adopt it and accept it. And I will tell you that in this 5-year plan, you were each given a summary before the meeting, which is, let me tell you, I thank Jim Scora, who handles this for the county, so much for that summary, because the real plan is like this, I mean, it's page after page after page. And so his summary is wonderful, but here's what I will tell you. The new updated plan will not increase any fees for the city of Ashland, our government, or our citizens. The biggest change would be, under the last plan, we still had a recycling center 5 years ago. This new plan does not include a recycling center, But since the recycling center closed its doors, now the county has added 15 drop-off points around the county. They've added a number of different recycling events, most notably would be the ones out at the fairgrounds, of course, with hazardous waste being one. I believe that's where they hold the tractor tire drop-off event, and then there's an electronics one coming up here, I believe, in September. But if you want more details, or anyone watching, we can easily get you a copy of the summary and so on. But to me, what matters is no expenses are going up for the city of Ashland, and all the services that we currently enjoy are expected to continue under this 5-year plan that's being presented to you tonight.
All right. Any questions, concerns?
They also have a voucher program, which I have
Yes.
utilized for tires and appliances.
Yes,
So you can-
absolutely.
You can go over to the courthouse and get a voucher and turn in your tires, so many, I think you're allowed so
Yes.
many, but
Yes.
that's year round.
And we really are very fortunate to
are.
have the programs that they offer, and I know our residents know because they have already, they make sure to tell me each time that it's the city of Ashland who prominently uses those recycle days out at the fairgrounds. And if you've ever been to them, the cars are lined up down Claremont Avenue and all around the fairgrounds, so.
Good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
I again will move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Ordinance 52-24.
Thank you for doing that. Ashland City is extremely important in the formula that's required for acceptance by the state. The most populous city counts for, I believe, 37% of the total overall approval that they need from the local jurisdictions. I don't know that I articulated that well, but in other words, of all the political jurisdictions that exist in Ashland, then you take a look at the population of each of those political jurisdictions, they have to have a certain percentage of the communities across Ashland, townships, villages, cities, approve it in order for it to be accepted by the state. And a lot of the political jurisdictions, it probably just falls through the cracks, so they may never hear from it, you know? And let's face it, if you're a small entity like a township, you don't have any employees really, you have the 3 trustees and a clerk, and sometimes like these types of things fall through the cracks. So they are heavily reliant on the city to approve it because we have such a large amount of population that our vote moves them way close to the threshold they have to meet. So thank you for doing that tonight.
All right, item G, we're going to hold off at this meeting for, we want Councilman Lawson to weigh in on that particular matter. So we'll move right to H, and that'll be an ordinance authorizing the Director of Finance to transfer funds from one fund to another within the annual appropriations and declare an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
The reason that this transfer is different than the previous one is because we are transferring monies that have been appropriated within the appropriations, but is moving from one fund to another, which is completely different than the previous transfer ordinance that you have approved. This was requested by Honorable Judge John Good from the municipal court. It is his desire, and I believe the letter has been attached here, authorizing or requesting that money to be transferred for us. In doing that, I will now have to forward a letter to the state to also get their authorization, but it's a formality. The judge does this periodically, I believe just about every year, if not every other year at least. And it is his way of moving money so that he can also assist some of the program expenditures that he enters in that other fund.
Sure. Questions for Mr. Paxton?
Nope.
Is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
I'll move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Ordinance 53-24.
Then finally, we have an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract for the purchase of 4 vehicles with appurtenances for the police division of the city of Ashland, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Okay, we are very fortunate in the city of Ashland to have residents that stepped forward and agreed to help fund the staffing and equipping of our city police department. I believe 1/4%, that's right? 1/4% of, you always have to stop and think about that because it's shared with the fire. 1/4% of our income tax is set aside for doing just that, staffing and equipping the fire department and the police department. And as a result, we've been able to keep our fleet on a pretty great maintenance schedule. A replacement schedule, couldn't think of the word, replacement schedule. Well, today, we're bringing forward to you a request to purchase 4 new vehicles. These, of course, would replace current vehicles that are getting up in mileage or getting up in use. The big change this time is, as you recall, the last time we purchased a F-150 pickup truck, and it was our first. Those have proven to be of great value to the police department. The current truck is shared by the sergeants and pretty much runs 24/7. And so as we replace some of our current vehicles, we are asking that one of those replacements be with a F-150 responder. So I'll just go through this. I think you've all seen the information, hopefully. But basically what it amounts to is we're asking that you consider purchasing 1 Ford F-150 responder. That, of course, will be utilized by our sergeants, and that comes at a cost of $50,876. $50,876. We also are requesting 3 Dodge Durangos. One will be used by the K-9 unit. It is $41,144. One will be used for primary patrol purposes. It's $41,144. And it is now time to replace the Charger that is driven by our police chief. It's a 2014 Charger, and it would be replaced with a Durango as well, and that comes at a cost of $42,049. So we're expecting that the total cost to purchase these vehicles and all the upfitting that's necessary to make them usable by our force, it'll come in around $285,000. So it's not inexpensive, but I think we're getting 4 good vehicles for that price, and again, it just helps us keep our fleet up to date.
Very good. What do you think, Officer Klein? Great. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, is.
There is I must unfortunately, these vehicles are not being purchased through the state cooperative purchasing program. And the reason for that is they are actually being purchased for less than what the state cooperative purchasing program would sell them to the city for, or they're buying them, the state's buying them at a dollar amount. We're actually buying these units less than what that contract is.
Excellent.
And there is a section in the not revised code, but the compliance supplement for contracts and expenditures that does allow a municipal government to, if you've got to look at apples to apples here, which Captain Kiley and I had a conversation about as late as this afternoon. as long as these units are being purchased alike at a cheaper price than the state cooperative purchase plan, we do not have to go out for bids. We can buy them directly from the dealership that is offering that.
Good.
So, and I believe that information was provided to you as well, so, but,
We're purchasing them from the Montrose Auto Group if you should decide to go forward.
right.
All right.
The other thing that I wanted to mention, because it's always important to me, we are not growing the size of our fleet. We are replacing existing vehicles. With this one caveat, one of the vehicles that we're taking offline will be given to the municipal court for their use. So, we're not growing the police fleet, but we are going to pass that vehicle on to the municipal court.
Very good.
What's the timing to get the vehicle?
When it comes to the Ford Responder, it is being built as we speak. It's supposed to, and I was kind of shocked, but it is actually being built, not equipped, it's being built in the next couple of weeks. And one of our Dodge Durangos is currently being built and should be done, I believe, just about now. And then the other ones, we don't know just yet.
Okay.
And the one
And
bid,
trade-in values will be determined by when that happens.
Okay.
So what they're worth by the time the trucks or the Durangos are ready may vary.
the one being passed in the municipal court, what will that be used for, do you know?
I did know that,
For, yeah, go ahead.
Work service program.
yeah.
Great.
All right. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to approve on the first reading?
So moved.
I couldn't
Second.
remember
Thank
what
you.
they said.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
I'll move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. Motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Ordinance 54-24.
And then we have a resolution on the agenda. This resolution is petitioning the Board of the County Commissioners of Ashland County, Ohio, for a change of township lines in order to make them identical with the limits of the municipal corporation and declaring an emergency.
Move for non-reading in full.
Second.
Thank you.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
This particular item comes to us, of course, from our law director's office. Andrew was working with us on this annexation, and I believe this is just a basic clerical item, right?
Whenever there's an annexation or multiple annexations, periodically we have to conform the boundaries of the township and the city to, to the annexations. And that has to do with taxes and has to do with voting and that sort of thing. So it may not follow precisely after every annexation, but it is supposed to be done regularly so that we keep up with it.
Sure.
Okay.
And this gets us right up to date then?
Yes.
Good, good. Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution on the first reading?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. Again, I'll move to suspend the rules for 3 separate readings, 3 separate days.
Second.
Thank you.
Miller.
Aye.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Motion to approve the resolution?
Move
So
to
moved.
approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Woodward.
Aye.
Workman.
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Resolution 9-24.
There are no public hearing items this evening, no old business. We do have new business, however. We have a new liquor permit for the Lotus Chinese and Japanese Restaurant Incorporated, doing business as Lotus Restaurant at 1616 Claremont Avenue, Ashland, Ohio. And I don't believe there's any police issues to address with the Lotus Chinese Restaurant. That being the case, is there a motion to not request a hearing in this matter?
Just a change of ownership?
No, this is new.
No.
This is new permit request.
Wow.
I move for no hearing.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second that.
All right.
Kyle,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman.
Aye. All right. We do, however, have a transfer of a liquor permit. And this is to Ashley's Candy and Nut Shop Limited at 47 East Main Street and Patio, Ashland, Ohio, from Nabanka LLC, 47 East Main Street and Patio, Ashland, Ohio. So just a transfer from one entity to another. And again, I'll ask for a motion to not request a hearing in this matter.
I make a motion not to request a hearing.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Miller,
Aye.
Woodward,
Aye.
Workman,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Very good. All right, we'll move then right to Finance Director's report. Thank you, Larry. Moving then to council comments, I'll start with you, Mr. Kyle, if you'd like to go first.
Thank you. Just, I make this announcement every year at, around the 4th of July, but I've had, more consistent concerns brought to my attention about fireworks, and it is very handy if you go to the state fire marshal's website. It does tell you very clearly what days of the calendar year you're allowed, and they change it every year. So, just as a reminder, right now, last week was not an allowable time to set off fireworks. So it's around major holidays. I think there's a list of 4 or 5, and the only one that has like the extended range is Independence Day. That's the whole. It's a week leading to and behind. But then it's Memorial Day, New Year's Eve, maybe Labor Day. But like I said, check the state website. But just to throw that out there, I mean,
I
it's a
too-
concern.
I too had heard complaints,
Yeah.
and I know it's basically an unenforceable law when you can't tell where it came from.
Right.
My general issue with it that I had heard from residents was, the proximity from one household engaging in fireworks versus the others who aren't, basically the neighbors, does not meet the standards set
No.
by the state.
Right.
It's, I don't even know.
It's 150 feet
150 feet.
in any direction.
Minimum, yeah.
Minimum in any direction.
And that is not being observed.
It's barely plausible that there's a city lot, unless you own multiple lots, that you'd be able to discharge fireworks.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious if you guys have been hearing them. During the 4th of July weekend and the weekend before and after, they were all over our area where I live, and but now there's nothing. I haven't heard them for weeks since July 4th holidays time frame.
Especially in that big field behind your
Yeah,
house. right?
exactly.
Well, yeah.
So the rest of you, are you hearing them now all the time in your neighborhoods?
Well,
Not
my
neither
neighbor
one.
loves to set them off, and we were out back in our driveway, and we seen one come across the tree lawn and into our backyard, so it was a dud.
Yeah.
Which, makes me a little nervous. What if somebody would have been back there?
But
So,
are you hearing them now, or was it during July 4th?
no, it was real close to
Because
the
I
July 4th.
felt, at least from what I've experienced, I will admit, this 4th of July holiday, they were being set off by
Yes.
people all over town. There were some pretty good shows in some of these people's backyards. But I will tell you, since then,
No.
I haven't seen or heard any of it. So I'd like to think people are trying to follow, or at least attempting
The
to follow that.
issues that come to my attention are generally the same part of town,
Yeah. Okay.
it's generally the same area, so it's probably the same kind of group of people, maybe, I don't know. But I advised this person, I'm like, look, the recourse is to contact the
Absolutely.
police department and have them
Absolutely.
come out and
Yes,
at least put
absolutely.
a stop to it.
Sure.
And they unlike some, this person said, "Oh, I just needed to know what to do, so thank you for letting me know."
And I will tell you, there's only one case that I know of. Now, there might be more, but I would think the chief might have shared it with me. But there's one case where I know of where someone did set them off, and the allegation was that the firework fell on the neighbor's roof and left a mark on their new roof. And they called the police. Our police did go out, and they don't know whether they can confirm that that mark was made by a firework. But the point was, the police officer spoke with the person who set the fireworks off and the property owner who was concerned, and the neighbor has at least agreed that he won't do that again, because he understood it couldn't fall on the neighbor's roof.
Yep.
So.
Good.
Be courteous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kyle.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Just a reminder, school starts up again, August 19th or 20th, whatever that week is. And AU starts up the week after, so broken records, watch your speeds at all times. And fortunate that the city has ramped up the tracking of speeders. There's more cars out that are tracking that, so that has helped. There's still people who are in a big hurry to go nowhere, but just again, you don't want to be responsible for running over a child, so watch your speed.
Mrs. Woodward?
Cleveland Avenue, there's some interesting things happen on Cleveland Avenue.
Yes.
So on the north side, most of you know that our sidewalk got tore up and gas line went through. Not sure if this played into the effect of what's happening, but our trees are shedding all their leaves. So I talked to Brian Blessing and I've talked to the mayor about leaf pickup early. So if you live on Cleveland Avenue and your tree is dropping all of its leaves, the mayor has said that there will be leaf pickup. I already need it in front of my house. There's enough pile of leaves. So probably maybe damaged some roots or just caused it to be early.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what that looks like or when they will do that, or.
So what we would ask is that any property owners that are impacted, and you have the worst tree in your stretch there between
Me
you and the neighbor.
Me and one other neighbor,
And
yes, yeah.
it does appear as though the tree has definitely been either shocked or killed. And so it's full-fledged fall in front of their
Yes,
homes.
they're
The leaves
all-
are on the ground. And so in that case, if you will rake your leaves, you or your neighbors or the folks that are up and down your side of the street that are impacted, rake your leaves to the curb like you normally would during fall leaf pickup. Our crews are gonna watch, and as soon as they see your piles out there, they will pick them up.
Okay, well, ours is
So,
out there.
yep, okay, good.
Okay.
They
One-
promised me they'd drive it every day and look, so if you guys get it out there, they'll do it.
Just a reminder, this is the only meeting we'll have in August. We will not have a second meeting this month.
And I do appreciate the council's willingness to have this special meeting. You can see there were a lot of big things pending and timeframes that we wanted to meet, so thank you for doing this.
Yes.
I will share with the group that in my neighborhood, I had the fiber optics work done in our front yards, up and down the street. And I will say the crews that went through there were quick,
Good.
they were quiet, efficient, friendly. I saw no issues, Mayor. So if that runs contrary to what you're hearing, sorry about that, but maybe they're improving. I
That's
don't know.
great
So,
news.
Anyway,
There are two different companies that are doing some of that fiber optic
Okay.
work. I won't give their names, but if anyone wants to know, let me know, or go out and ask the workers. Well, I can, Omni Fiber and Frontier. And I think Frontier was doing the work in your neighborhood, and
Okay.
I've heard that from a number of folks, that it went so smoothly,
Yeah.
and they were friendly and answered their questions. We did have some challenges with the other company in other neighborhoods, and in fact, we actually asked them to halt all activity, and we met with their entire leadership team and attorneys, and the work is authorized to start back up, but we don't believe it has,
okay.
so.
Yeah.
With that being one of the areas where they stopped work was on Smith Road. Actually, my neighbor across the street, in his tree lawn, they left about 500 feet of fiber, just kind of zigzagged in the tree lawn. It is now about 30 inches high.
Oh, my.
obviously he can't do anything with it because of the fiber, so I guess this is me letting
Is
the
it
city
not-
know.
And the fiber's just loose?
No, that's the problem. It goes up and it is tied in at the pole, but they have extra there to continue, you know, because you gotta splice that in the proper sequence. But they, you know, they actually, at one point, it did have, stakes in the ground around it and caution tape, but that has since
Yep. Then you-
degraded
yeah,
and
so
is
we need
gone.
to get the address, or if we get.
Yeah, I
something
can get you
fine.
that. I can get you that.
Because we'll
I even
notify
took
the
a
company.
couple pictures just to let you know. But yeah, it's pretty, I'm sure he hasn't said anything.
And I want to make clear that I am not saying Omni Fiber is a bad company. Omni Fiber, though, hires a contractor, and contractors don't always perform at the same levels as other contractors do. And that's what this situation is about. The
Yeah.
leadership of the company was absolutely willing to work with us. And in fact, I even heard, I haven't verified, but I heard that they got rid of that contractor and have signed a new contract with the local contractor. So we'll see what happens.
Very good.
All right. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
I don't have a lot to share, other than next Friday is the Mayor's Golf Classic. And I just want to remind folks, the reason why we started the Mayor's Golf Classic was to raise funds for Brookside Golf Course. Even though it bears the name of the office I occupy, the money does not go to support me or to my campaign or anything like that. The money is used for the golf course, for special projects. And if you recall, we have come a long ways at that golf course, thanks to generous donors, whether they be at the Mayor's Golf Classic, or the Wygants donating the pavilion, or the Millers donating the patio, or the cart paths. We have been very blessed to have so many people step forward to support Brookside Golf Course. With all that in mind, I want you to know, now keep in mind, our dollars that we donate go to those special projects. But so far, and we are not, I would like to think we're not near the golf season's end. So far, they have brought in $975,000 in revenue and have made about $115,000 profit so far this year. So things can change quickly, but we're gonna hope that that's a trajectory that'll stay in play, and we will
Certainly.
have a record-setting year at Brookside Golf Course. So thank you for everyone's faith and investment in that Brookside Golf Course.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Take comments and questions from our audience, if anyone would like to step forward. We have very minimal audience this evening, so I'll assume no. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Aye.
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 Thank you all. We are adjourned.